I did listen to some Taylor Swift on the drive here.
Oh, you checked it out?
I've listened to Taylor Swift before. It's just someone called Taylor Swift Walmart music, and I think that's very appropriate. Like she's like Drake in that sense. Like Drake is elevator music, you know? Like it's just like you're not really, I don't know. I'm not moved.
Yeah, I can see that. Did you listen to it because we were talking about her?
Yeah, I just hit the I was just like I want to listen to something, and I was like I'll listen to ASAP Ferg, and then I was like yeah, I'm Ferged out, and then I listened to Taylor Swift because we talked about it.
A little T Swift.
Dude, I do think she's talented, though.
Yeah, she is.
Absolutely talented.
Taylor Swift's a talent.
I found out that I think I can do a pretty okay impression of Cartman from South Park.
See, this is something you need to explore more because I notice you've done some voices on the podcast, and it's fun. And you never do voices on stage, which is fine. That's fine.
Yeah, sometimes I always think to myself, I sound so stupid, but
yeah, we all do.
I just, and that's why it's like scary on stage. Cause it's like, it's just recorded. We're like in your man cave and like, we're just vibing, but like on stage where people can see you, it's a little weird to like, people can talk back, people can bark. Someone could say, "You suck, you fat virgin," and that would hurt me. That would destroy me.
It's like they knew I sucked. They knew I was a virgin.
They just knew.
How did they know that?
Because they're vampires, and they all just have an instinct.
Well, that's kind of our job on stage is to identify the virgins. Identify who sucks in the crowd, and then we go after them before they can go after us. I met these
real cool comics. They're a couple, and they're both from New York. Very cool folks. And one of them, he has a hilarious bit about he went to prison, and he has a hilarious bit about like pedophiles, because he's like, most people, when I say I go to prison, there's usually one person that raises their hand. They're like, I went to prison too. And then I asked them what they did,
mm-hmm.
and they oftentimes are like, I can't tell you.
Oh, that's no good.
And that's how I instantly know that's
yeah.
And then he's like, us in the crowd are gonna beat the crap out of this guy.
I know, yeah, that's what happens. That's one of those crimes, man. You don't want to be doing that crime because they'd be taking care of you in jail.
Yeah, dude, I honestly think it should have the death penalty, but
it probably should.
But it kind of does, like going to prison. But
yeah, they don't go easy on you, man.
They don't.
But so this guy was out of jail. He got out.
He's been out for a while. He's living a life. His name is
yeah, blow him up. Let's blow up his spot.
Derek, but I forget the last name. I don't want to.
It's okay. We don't. It's just Derek.
It's
Guy Derek.
No, he's very funny.
If you know funny guy Derek, he's probably been in jail, and he knows.
I've never had to say his last name.
That's okay.
Derek J. He has. Okay, he's actually funny. He's like a legit comic with more followers than us, but very funny dude. And his girlfriend is very funny too. Fuck. Why did I forget her name right now? I'm so nervous.
It's okay.
You have to respect people, Keith. You have to respect people. You have to.
But
it's not.
But the listeners don't. You're disrespecting the listeners by, looking at your phone. Just no respect.
It's Kate.
It's okay, Kate.
You have a bug on the. It's been a while, Kate.
Don't talk about my bugs. Do I have bugs?
Yeah, you do, right there. You have a ladybug on one of the lighting setups. She's making a home.
Oh, wow. Is that what that is?
You missed it? Did you not see it? It was in the corner. It's in the back now.
We got bugs on set, guys.
Got bugs on set.
That's okay.
Not a very great opener. Do you want to hear my Cartman impression?
I hope so.
Now I'm nervous.
I hope I get to say it. I get to hear it.
I'm nervous.
Right, do it.
I was yelling at my dog, Yoshi.
Yeah.
She was just being a pain in the ass. And I was just like,
no, Mr. Kitty! Stop, Mr. Kitty!
Yeah. That's good.
Mr. Kitty, no!
You gay. That was my Cartman. Like, hey, gay.
Okay.
Yours is more squeaky.
Yeah, but that's like he gets squeaky with Mr. Kitty.
Oh, does
You remember
oh.
Mr. Kitty?
No, Mr. Kitty, no! Get off the fucking table, Mr. Kitty!
So, when South Park came out, I was like 12. So, or yeah, it was like 97. So I was 12 when South Park came out. And that was like the show everyone was talking about because it was like a cartoon and it was rated TVMA. It was like the first.
And they did those shows in a week.
It was the first cartoon that was like really for adults. And I remember there was the big debate in middle school. We were all like, Simpsons is better. No, South Park is better. And I think that's been pretty well settled at this point, which I know both have been going a very long time. But I think South Park's just continued to slay.
Yeah, I think it's more relevant. I was a Family Guy man.
Yeah, Family
Honestly,
Guy is
you know,
another
Sleeper,
one.
American Dad. I think American Dad's underappreciated in this country.
I remember seeing the Family Guy series premiere. They ran it after the Super Bowl. The very first Family Guy was like on right after the Super Bowl.
What was that
over.
episode?
I don't remember. It was so long ago. It was the 90s. You think I can't go back that far to remember the episode? But that's a great show.
Phenomenal. I met one of the writers. It was really cool. Yeah, he's
What
like
happened?
really chill.
What
Nothing happened. It's not like he had enough clout to
Great.
tell. He did give me some really great advice,
Thanks
though.
for bringing it up.
I'm
Okay. This advice is good.
He gave me some great writing advice. Because I was like really nervous about, because comedy writing's hard. It's right there. The bug's right there.
Oh yeah, there's a ladybug in my man cave.
Yeah. Well, we don't know its gender yet. Don't put her.
Well,
put
we
her in
know it's a
box.
ladybug.
Ugh.
But yeah. So anyway, I don't want to distract.
Tired of your shit here, man. So no, he was really cool. And after he did like a panel and answering questions about how he got into comedy writing and everything. And he wrote for The Onion. He wrote for a bunch of different groups, and then he ended up landing in the writing room for Family Guy. And I remember I was just talking to him, and I was just like, man, you know, you've written some really cool stuff. He talked about some of the jokes you wrote. I'm like, do you ever get worried, like, that you've written your best joke? Like, there'll never be, like, something better? Like, you ever worry that you can't top what you have written? Because I think me and you can both, we both have jokes that we probably really like, that we wrote and are proud of, maybe. And it's like, you get to a point where you're like, man, could I write something better than that? And he was like, no, immediately. It was, what surprised me was how quickly he answered. He was like, no, I'll write something better. He's like, there will always be more ideas. I will always write something better. It's not a problem.
You have to have that. You have to have that way of thinking, because if you just like think, oh, that's my best, and then you're really proud of your best thing, and then you just end up never writing anything else, so you'll never really know.
Never know, yeah.
But also, I don't know if there's a best, but there's definitely, like, I feel like you can reach a pinnacle, but you can always kind of get back to that with other jokes. It just takes time. You got to work them out, spend the time, think about them a lot, which a lot of comics are lazy. That's pretty much, I would say 99% of comedians are lazy as hell when it comes to writing.
Yeah,
And
it's hard.
That's what separates the really good comedians from the not so good comedians.
The best comedians I've met so far are ones that like go to open mics all the time with a notebook. They're always like rewriting stuff. They're doing like as much stage time as they can.
Yeah.
But then also, like, I don't believe, like, when you're working out material, you have to also know what to like let go and not keep trying, because there are people who keep trying jokes and it's not working.
Oh yeah.
Or it doesn't work.
Yeah. People constantly they keep doing the same jokes over and over again, and it's like, you gotta at least try a new tag on an old joke. At least always try to be cutting words from it or adding to it or something. Don't just stick with the same joke over and over again forever, and especially going to open mics and doing it at the open mic the same way every time.
Or people who bring their A material to the open mic, like they do the set that they've been doing for this like past 4 years
And that's-
to the open mic.
That's the problem with that's the problem I think with a lot of. But that's the thing with open mics, I guess, is like it doesn't matter what you do with them. Like it's really for you. You're not entertaining anybody really. You're kind of just trying to work stuff out.
That's why like hosting an open mic is brutal. I don't know how you do it. I stopped doing it, but I was hosting an open mic every Sunday, and that was fucking brutal.
Yeah,
every other Sunday.
I mean, granted, I haven't done it every week yet. I've never done an open mic every single week, so that's something that we'll see what happens there.
Shout out Joe DeShane. He did that every Monday for the longest time.
Yeah, I'll be doing it every Tuesday at Blue, starting January. So
that's a good room.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool in there.
Classic music room.
But we digress. That's comedy. That's what we do.
You hear about Hassan Minaj's like big YouTube video to kind of explain all the accusations from the New Yorker?
I didn't.
Oh, he has like evidence apparently to prove that they kind of like misquoted him, and like the woman that they're all saying he like accused of being racist for not going out to the prom with him was totally aware of his joke, and like her anonymity was protected. He like did like a 20-minute video with like receipts on everything, and I thought the craziest thing was the way he writes his emails. It's like he made a joke about it. He's like, I write emails like Lin-Manuel Miranda, the writer of Hamilton, writes like plays. But he writes, like, he was writing, like, emails that were so weird. Like, oh, my God, it's so amazing that we have grown together and have become such amazing people. Like, it kind of made him look like a bit more of a psychopath than anything else.
Yeah, you shouldn't be writing emails like a psychotic person if you want to be taken seriously. Write a nice email like that guy.
I don't know. His emails were, like, super, like, sweet.
Who's that cool guy that was, like, talking about eating people?
Cool guy talking about eating people.
Yeah, hey, that guy, he like got canceled pretty quick. The actor.
There's an actor who talked about eating people and got canceled.
Oh yeah, I shouldn't even brought him up because I don't know his name.
Harvey Weinstein?
Nope. He was like, he's got a really weird name. Anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about.
Wait, like he's eating people?
No, he just was like, it sounded like that was some weird thing he was into, like talking about eating his partner or whatever, and he would like say things to her about eating parts of her body, and cannibal play.
Cannibal play is a thing?
I don't know. Apparently his name is like Army Hammer.
Armin Hammer?
Army Hammer.
The founder of Armin Hammer?
No, Army Hammer. Army Hammer. He's got the weirdest name.
Army Hammer.
Yeah.
There's a guy in Japan that is a lot of people have talked about who like ate someone in like France and just like went back to Japan and lived his best life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talking about getting away with something serious.
Dude, humans, like for example, one of our mutual friends, their dog ate some poop, like human poop, by accident. Like there were homeless people shitting outside,
Yeah.
and the dog accidentally, because dogs will fucking eat anything, and they had to go like to the animal vet immediately to like take care of the dog, right? And like make sure the dog wasn't like in trouble.
Starting to turn into a human.
Yeah, but like human shit is super dangerous. Like I'm just thinking like, why eat meat, man? I just had an energy drink. I'm probably disgusting. You take a bite out of me, you're dying, man.
No, I'm energized. I'd probably be up for 2 days.
Be going
Take
forever.
a bite out of Mo, baby.
Take a bite out of me.
Take a bite out of Mo. You'll be up for weeks.
Dude.
That's pure energy. Speaking of taking a bite out of things,
I was writing a joke.
I did something I shouldn't have done today.
Is Amy upstairs?
Yeah.
Is she okay?
She's fine.
Okay.
I went back to Jersey Mike's. Dude, I went back today. I went back it's still hilarious. They took that lady off.
You're such a fiend.
Dude,
You're
I went
Jersey Mike's
I went
fiend.
almost 2 weeks. They got a 2-week timeout almost.
Oh my god.
It's more like a 10-day, but they got a 2-weeker. And this is the thing. They took that lady, the French lady, off the sandwich area, and they have her in the rear behind, because they have like a separate sandwich station for other orders, like probably catering or whatever. So they just had her on there because when it's all written out, it's probably a little less confusing for her to like be able to understand what goes on the sandwich, because it's just all written out. And whatever, so it works out. She's out of there.
I'm just happy she's gainfully employed.
She's still gainfully employed.
Did you get your sandwich the way you wanted it?
I got it exactly the way oh my god, but I got it exactly how I wanted it. And man, did it take a long time. It took so long. It was insane. It took almost 20 minutes to get my sandwich.
We're putting him on timeout.
I want to put it back on timeout, but the sandwich came out so good. They did a good job. And also it was hilarious.
Good cold cut sandwiches here, man. You can make good cold cut sandwiches at home. Dude.
Yeah, but they have 4 different kinds of meats. I don't want to go buy 4. That's a lot of plastic waste. The environment and whatnot. You've heard of it.
I'm sure the gas to get.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You hop in a car? And
I hop in a car, and I get on down to JM. But so I'm in there, and this lady's making there's so many online orders. Like, they're just doing online orders, and they'll be like, 3 bozos in line, me and my coworker, and then some other lady. And we're just waiting for a long time. They're getting through all these orders. And they got all the receipts, and they're all greasy. They got all those greasy orders. They get the greasy hands all over them, and there's just grease streaks, and then they put it on the sandwich, and I'm just like, it doesn't matter. And the lady was making the sandwich right before mine, and she's doing the top of the sandwich, she's putting the mayo on, and it like slipped out of her hand and like splooshed into like some other condiment and got drenched, and she like looked at us and she just started giggling. I was like, okay. That's fine, lady.
Having fun at work, dude.
And then so she had to like cut a whole new piece of bread and do it again and put the other thing on top, and we were just looking at, me and my coworker are just like laughing. We're just.
Do they have soups?
No.
A good sandwich spot should have some soups, man. Some good old soupy whoopies.
Yeah, I don't think they have time for that in Jersey Mike's.
Not in Jersey.
But I remember to get my shore points this time, and so I didn't have to worry about that.
I'm just happy she's employed and you're getting the sandwiches you deserve.
I know, everyone's
20
happy
minutes
now.
For a sandwich?
That was way too long.
20. What were you doing for 20 minutes?
I was making jokes with my coworker about whatever. Mostly just like, are you ever worried that when you're eating a sub in the men's room of a gay bar that someone might think that you're gay?
I think you're gay at that point.
I think you might be gay at that point.
Gay, yeah.
I think you might be gay.
It might be it. I say just accept yourself,
Yeah. I don't know. What were we talking about? We were talking about...
love yourself. Love yourself. I'm talking to you.
We're talking about cars. We're talking about cars breaking down. Just passing the time. We're giggling. We're goofing. But we went out to lunch at the... At a pho place.
I love pho, dude. Ooh, which pho place?
How long? Doesn't matter. I don't want to, because I'm not gonna say anything good.
Oh, wise.
I don't know what is wrong. I don't know what is wrong with these pho people. I don't get it.
That's all racist.
Is it
the pho people?
I don't know. That it's not actually. It's just this one restaurant that I have had a problem with.
So what was wrong with the pho? Walk me through your experience, your truth. Tell me your truth.
My truth is, I get in there. Okay? It's not very busy.
You're in there.
I'm in the pho place. Okay, not very busy. And this woman's like, "Oh, have a seat wherever. I'll come take your order." She gives us, a couple printed menus, and me and my coworker sit down. We're BSing. Like guys do,
Man.
And then we're BSing a while, and they're like, what if this lady's ever going to come over and take our order? What if that's ever going to happen? And then it's like 10 minutes went by before she came back.
Wait, is this lunch?
Yeah.
Pho for lunch is weird, dude.
Why?
For lunch? On a work day?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And so we order. I get the pho. He gets a banh mi. He gets
See, a banh mi. That
he
makes
gets some
more sense.
dumplings. He gets some dumplings. I'm excited for my pho. I haven't had pho since the winter. It's been a while.
Been flawless.
And I'm like, finally 10 minutes goes by. She takes her orders. And then I'm like, look at the time. Like, is this ever coming out? How long should pho take to get a bowl of pho? You got the number. You got the number in mind. Tell me when you got it.
I got a number.
And on 3, we're gonna say it. 1, 2, 3, 8 minutes. 35 minutes for pho?
For good pho, yeah.
It takes that long?
35 minutes, yeah. I would wait that long.
Not wait. How long would you, once you put your order in, how long you...
Once I put my order in?
How long would you take? Wouldn't it take like 5 minutes?
I would wait 35 minutes, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never had it take more than like 5-10 minutes max for pho.
Well, I would just assume that the broth has already been made and has been sitting for like 5 hours. But then, okay, what type of meat are you having on there?
The rare steak.
Rare steak, okay. I probably would expect my noodles to be boiling, and I would also expect my beef, and then I would also take into account other orders and to-go orders that might have come before me.
There weren't a lot of orders.
Not a lot of people there, but were they doing deliveries?
Didn't seem like a lot was going
count
on.
For deliveries.
Didn't seem like much was going on. And every time I've ordered from them, it's been ready in 20 minutes.
Then that's different. If there's a standard there, if it's like ready in 20, then yeah.
But I waited 10 to order and then another 30 to get the food.
Okay. You know the place. So that's but like if I was going to a place I didn't know them, my 35 minutes, and at the 35-minute mark, I'm losing my mind.
For soup. Yeah, for soup, that's
Pho
way
is not
too
a
long.
simple soup.
It's not a simple soup,
It's not a
but
simple
it
soup.
should.
It is the heart of the Vietnamese people, okay?
But
You
here's the thing
understand?
about pho. Here's what's up about pho. It's incredibly delicious.
It's amazing.
It's so good. It's
my
just the
favorite
best.
soup.
It's my favorite soup.
It's my favorite noodle dish.
And I mean, anytime I can get it, I'm excited.
Are you a beef pho person?
Yeah, I'll get the
or
beef.
Chicken pho? Oh, cool.
Yeah, I always usually get the beef. I think I've had the chicken before, but beef is just, I don't know. I guess that's the first one I ever had. And we went to I had it for the first time in a Vietnamese neighborhood.
Are you squirting sauce in there?
Yeah, baby.
You have to raw dog the broth, dude. The broth has to be raw dogged. You can't squirt stuff in there. What are you squirting in there?
What they give you.
The sriracha.
Poison, sriracha. They don't give you a whole bottle though. They just give you a little bit on a plate.
Yeah. I like to put the hoisin and beef separately. I'll dip that, but the broth to me is sacred. I got to keep it. The broth should stand alone. You know.
Oh well, I like the way it tastes with all that stuff in it. To me.
Well, do you?
I know. I will do me.
Yeah. Do you?
And I definitely try it without.
Do it the wrong way.
I make sure to have it. I make sure to have my broth totally virginal, without anything in there. I'll have it as is.
You'll have a taste.
I get some taste. I'm like, oh, that's good, and I'll have it. And then I'm like, all right, now it's time to switch it up to the way that I
can
love
respect that. You've earned my respect.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think you want it.
I love to get a little food related respect. And
I feel like I'm an authority.
Yeah, but I've had some rough situations.
Me too. There are bad pho places.
There are for sure.
And not that we can talk about them, but for sure there are very bad pho.
The quality of the pho at this place is good, but the experience was a little. That's the thing. Quality of food does always trumps everything. Is if the service sucks and the food is really good, then okay, that's fine. But
I've never been a fan of customer service, man, because I've never I'm a big customer service guy for things that aren't food related, but I almost want some bad. I just assume bad customer service equates to good food. It's just a natural thing because they have to have a reason to have you come back. They're people with bad customer service, restaurants with bad customer service are my food's so good that I can call this guy a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And they'll come back.
Yeah.
They're like crack fiends. They put that extra MSG in there.
Soup Nazi. I think that's that's sort of the...
They come back.
They still want to go back. They'll do whatever it takes just to have that delicious soup.
What a great show, Seinfeld. My girlfriend has never watched Friends, and then I was like, "Oh my God, have you watched Seinfeld?" Because that's like to me, like Seinfeld and Friends were that era to me. Like they were
They
close.
were that era for
And then
sure.
she looks at me and says, "Mo, I'm white. Of course, I've watched Seinfeld." And I was like,
You know
"Oh."
what's okay? Yeah. All right. Sure. I did not like Friends. I just
But you watched it.
no.
Really?
Not, I mean, I'm sure I'd seen. It was probably the 90s and it was on syndication, and I had very few TV channels, so there was definitely a point, I'm sure, where Friends was on the TV and I just happened to be watching it, but I don't think
I
that
was
I
a
ever
child.
sought it out.
And it was just on free TV, and
Exactly.
I would just watch it
Exactly.
as a kid. So I watched Friends and Seinfeld for that. It was on TV. That
But
was
Seinfeld
free.
was great.
Seinfeld was.
I was always laughing at Seinfeld.
I always thought I always loved Kramer until he became racist. But like,
Yeah, he did say that racist stuff.
but he was so funny. I think the turkey basting one where he was tanning.
Yeah, classic.
Was freaking hilarious. But no, you know what's good too? Gives me Seinfeld vibes, but it's like its own kind of thing. Is Atlanta? I don't know if you ever watched Atlanta by Donald Glover.
No, I've heard of it though.
It is a surprisingly really good show. It obviously focuses on Atlanta and a rapper, and Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover, as a character in the show. But it's like super surreal, and it's like really funny. It's crazy funny. Oh my god, what a great show!
So I was hanging out with my buddy in California when I was living out there. My buddy Fidel, shout out for Fidel
Castro
Hernandez. He probably listens to this. He might, but anyway, I remember
Shout out Fidel.
we're at his apartment, and we were like watching TV, having some tequila, having a good time, and he puts on Friends. He's like, "Oh, I love Friends." I was like, "What? You love Friends?" It's just one of those shows where I don't know, man. I couldn't get into it. And that guy died the other day.
Yeah, Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry.
Yeah, he's a good actor, and he seemed like a nice enough guy too.
He really
Young.
He badmouthed Keanu Reeves. He was saying, well, he wrote his book and he said this thing. He's like, "Why do we lose all the good ones, yet people like Keanu Reeves still walk this earth?" Like he said something like that, and it's kind of hilarious to me that he is now dead.
That's funny.
It's like he was predicting it.
Keanu Reeves.
Why would you shit on Keanu Reeves, man? Why would you throw him under the bus like that? What a guy. He's like the best guy.
He seems like a great dude. He lost family. Everyone knows he lost like a sister or something to cancer, making him like the permanent nice guy. But he plays a character in that video game, Cyberpunk 2020. What is it? No, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, Cyberpunk 20. Yeah, whatever. 2076.
2076. Yeah. He
probably
plays
not.
Johnny
2077.
Silverhands in that game, which I thought was really weird, but it worked.
Did you get into that game?
I did. I got it when it first came out.
So what's
that game is what consoled me when this girl I was dating abruptly just kind of disappeared from my life and kind of destroyed me for like a year and a half. And that was the first game I played.
So Cyberpunk got you back to life?
Cyberpunk disappointed me, just like my love life was disappointing me at the time.
How'd you hear about Cyberpunk before it came out?
Oh, I knew about Cyberpunk way back, probably when you found out about it. They announced it in 2010 or 9.
Really?
They announced that game a long time ago. CD Projekt Red, creators of games like The Witcher. It was their big, huge game that they were going to make, and it took forever in development, and they finally released it. And There were a bunch of bugs. Like I could barely run it on my PC, which had like some pretty decent specs. They committed straight up fraud from what I recollect, because they actually like had a high-end PC play the game in a demo, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's being played on a PS5 or that's being played on a PS4 or whatever."
I did hear a lot of this stuff, and it did look like it was going to be a cool game, and it is on my Steam wish list still. I've kept it on there. It always goes on sale, and I always think about buying it. But
I would wait when it gets to a good sale, and then you get the DLC as well, because I'm going to wait for the DLC to go on sale myself. I haven't played the DLC. I only played the main game, but that's a fun game, and you get to build your character any way you want. Like I was a samurai, so I had like a katana, and I had built my character to just do like wicked damage, and just like cut people up. But you could be a hacker. You could like hack people's BioWare and stuff.
so everyone's like bio
Yeah,
genetic
so
or
it's a
whatever.
cyberpunk game. The whole idea is you're in a city called Night City in like what is like Los Angeles, or yeah, it's like Los Angeles, I think. And there are all these areas that you can live, and there are gangsters, and like the whole game revolves around you being what's called like an edge runner. It's like the idea of like you're kind of like a bounty hunter type deal, but you also do like you're on the fringes of like society. And the plot of the game is you're asked to go steal a chip from a company called Arasaka. So it's probably a better idea to talk about how in this world
Is it a
it's like-
Pocky one chip?
Huh?
Is it the Pocky one chip?
Is that what they call it?
The one chip challenge? The one that
No.
okay.
No, it's not. It's called like Soul Saver or Soul Eater or whatever, and it like has like the personality and basically like the memories and personality of a terrorist rock star played by Keanu Reeves called Johnny Silverhands. But the whole world is about a world like where corporations are not just like businesses. They're like little countries with like militaries, and like they fight and they have wars against each other, and they're all like vying for control of the whole world, and you're basically tossed in the middle of it. It's a fun game. It's a cool game. If you like RPGs, like role-playing games, it's a fun world.
It just seems like another kind of like GTA type of game.
It's not.
It's different than GTA?
Yeah.
Well, would you say like Skyrim is like a GTA type of game?
No, I wouldn't call Skyrim a GTA kind of game. I think to be a GTA game, you have to...
Fallout games?
No.
Is
no.
Fallout but Fallout's kind of like Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're similar, but the difference is like a GTA,
Yeah,
you have to have a better physics engine than what they have, and there's more emphasis in the actual shooting and the crime and the owning a house and owning property. Like it's a different kind of beast versus like those games. Like you can own a house in Skyrim, you can own places, you can like be on mounts, cars, but like the driving isn't slick enough. Like the crime is there, but it truly is an RPG, like first person shooter type game versus saying it's a GTA. I don't know. GTA is like a different thing. It's like a crime simulator to me. There's really isn't like a lot of fantasy in GTA, so it's hard to like.
I see.
The only way you could compare it is like, yeah, you can drive cars in Cyberpunk, but
I kind of think
it's not like the same
when
as
I
GTA.
say that, it's just like you're someone in like an open world and you go do missions. That's kind of like to me a GTA type game.
Yeah, but the missions are like really RPG based missions. Like you have a lot more control. Like there are dialogue strings within the mission, so there are different conclusions to the missions versus how you play it. Versus GTA is a lot more linear. Like, like Trevor's gonna kill that person, in the game. Like, or Michael's gonna. There's no real choice unless at the end of the game you have three choices, whether or not to let one of the three main characters live and win the game, or have all four of them in GTA win the game and they go after the big bad or whatever. You do have four different endings in the newest GTA game, but it's different because each mission always ends the same way up until that last point. Most of the missions, like they all end. Versus like in Cyberpunk, you can have really like I think there are 7, 8 different endings, depending on what you decide, and then I think there are also separate endings split in between them. Like in the way the quests are rolled out are really different.
Okay. Yeah, so that's one you got to get super deep into. It sounds like.
Yeah, it's I think relatively deep. You can really enjoy. Honestly, one of my favorite things to do was walk around the city, and like when someone mean mugged me, I would just murder them. And,
wow.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good time.
There it is.
Just walk around, and the music was really good. That's one thing they don't give that game credit for. The music was fun. It was like this super like futuristic, like it felt cool.
That's a big part of the games is the music. I feel like you got to have the good music in the games, or it's not like it's like not as good of an experience.
I feel like movies and video games are like the ultimate form of artistic expression because they involve so many different mediums and layers to make it work.
Yeah.
That I think it's like they're both very I don't know why like people have accepted films as like high art, but I don't think they've accepted video games as like art. And there are some games like I consider them like great novels. You know what I mean? Like I think like Skyrim or Metro Last Light, those games are like they're almost like great novels to me than they are like video.
Yeah,
like,
people don't. Some people don't think of video games that way, but there's cool stories definitely in games.
there are a lot of people who are like the minute you mention video games, they're like they dismiss you as like.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people who
human
just
beings.
turn this podcast off.
Yeah, they're like fuck you.
Like, oh no, they're talking about games. I gotta shut this crap off. But this is the thing about games, though. As a guy that's really busy, I just don't have time for games. Or it's like, I love video games, man. I love playing video games so much, and I just never have time for them. So even when I do have time for them, it's been so long since I've played video games, I just never think to play them. Like, I might go on like a few day stretch where I'll like play a game, but now I'm like editing more videos with my free time, which I like. I have fun doing that. Like, and I feel like I'm actually like doing something like kind of productive, and it's kind of cool. But I'll miss playing video games. And having a kid, it's like you really spend time with your kid, and you just don't have time for games. Like when you don't have a kid, all that time you're not doing anything. So it's like you can just play games all you want. It's whatever. It's a very fun time in your life when you're childless.
Childless. Yeah, I hope I keep it going for a while. Yeah, man, I gotta say I have coworkers of mine who play video games still, even with the whole family. It's just a matter of how you like what you decide to do. It seems like you're happy, and I appreciate you editing these videos and doing what you do there, but it's like I think it's okay to have time where you're unproductive.
Oh, dude. I mean, I had my time. And when you're at your time in your life right now, how old are you? 29?
I'm 28.
28?
29 soon.
Okay, yeah. Like, when I was 28, 29, I was definitely gaming. Like, I was playing my games.
No, I mean, just from, like, a different... I'm not offended or any... Or like,
You'll see how... I'll be curious. When we get to episode,
20 million or whatever.
250... When you're in your mid 30s and we're crushing this podcast, and like
we can quit our jobs.
This is our full-time job.
Yeah, whole studio.
You'll see. You're like, oh yeah, maybe you grow out of video games. You grow out of it a little bit as you get older. Some of that happens, but it's anytime I can get into a game for a little while, it's fun. But I get ambitious. I want to play a game that's like Red Dead Redemption 2. That I bought that game. I played it.
That's a good game.
I played it. I probably put like 3-4 hours into it, and then I just like had no time for a couple weeks, and then I just like never played it again. And it'll pop up in my mind every so often as like, oh, I gotta play that. And so Red Dead Redemption will be a game that I hope to eventually find the time for. But yeah, with
It's
having
worthwhile. It's a fun game.
with having kids though, it's like I'll definitely want a game with my kid, and I hope she'll want to play Magic the Gathering, and there's no way she will. But I can hope.
She might. I'm definitely gonna like curate like everything that I'm gonna curate, what she should, if I ever have a kid, like what they would like I'd make them play Skyrim. We do Skyrim run. We would do
Oh yeah, you gotta be Skyrimming.
Mortal Kombat. Maybe honestly, one of my favorite games ever is Divinity Original Sin 2, so I'd make them do a run with me, and Baldur's Gate, and some Kingdom Hearts, if you know, you know. But there are also movies I'd make them watch too, like Goodfellas is mandatory. We'd have to watch Goodfellas. We'd have to watch both Godfathers. We'd have to watch Irishman. We'd have to watch The Boy in Striped Pajamas. Just
What
the
about
classics.
Tim and Eric?
Free Real Estate, yeah, for sure.
My kid, I think when she's about 7, that's when I'm gonna just show her all of Tim and Eric.
You're gonna have a weird kid. How about Monty Python? You're gonna show her some
That's
of
a
the
good one.
best
Maybe I'll
bits?
do that one first. Well, I'll kind of do it how I'll do a little Monty Python. I'll do some, just the classic, maybe some old SNL, some really cool 90s SNL,
Mad
early
TV
90s.
for sure.
She probably won't like it. I'm just so curious what my kid will hate of mine that I like,
I think whatever you don't force is what she'll probably like the most.
Yeah. Well, what's funny? My parents got me into SNL. That was like one of those shows that we watched together as a family. We watched Conan together. Like I remember my dad would like tape Conan in the 90s, like, and then we'd watch it on tape like the next day, and we like fast forward through the commercials, or like on the weekend, like Sunday morning, we'd always watch like SNL because we'd have like a tape of it, and we just fast forward through all the commercials.
There's good moments. Me and my mom watched Cops together. That's what she liked a lot. She liked
That's great, dude. Did you ever watch the one where there was a guy soliciting prostitutes in a clown outfit?
No.
Doesn't it sound made up?
Yeah, but it's probably real.
Yeah, no.
believe
I
in it.
mean, I'm gonna probably put a clip of it. You're probably looking at a clip of it right here. There's a clip of.
My mom liked it because of the intro music, and she also
Oh yeah.
liked it because like whenever we were doing anything bad at the house, she was like, bad boys, what you gonna do when I come for you?
Would she laugh? Was she laughing?
Yeah, she'd laugh her house off. My mom liked to make songs before she like disciplined us or anything. She'd be like I remember she'd sing a Somali song which was Mahamido Dabalunga Lunga Mukudila Masama Kudaya, which means Muhammad, your butt's wagging. Should I hit you or should I let you go?
Your butt's wagging. Should I hit you? Should I let you go?
Something weird.
That's cool that it rhymes, even in English.
I punched this. But no, it's it was funny. She'd be like, bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
And she'd have a little
when I
smirk
come
on her
for
face.
you? Oh yeah, she'd laugh her ass off because she thought it was funny.
We had Cops on sometimes in the house, but I mean, Cops is a rough family show because it's just criminals on TV,
That's one thing about my childhood. Maybe what's funny? It's like parents are more sensitive about it now. I had a single mom, so she didn't have that much control what we watched. But like because she didn't understand English, I got to watch like a lot of things before, Yeah, it's like it just didn't click.
She was like, "Oh, this isn't ruining my kid's brain because I don't understand what they're talking about."
No understand. So like The Simpsons. So if she saw like some sitcoms, if there was like any sex or anything like that, immediately she'd be like, "Oh no, off. That has to go." Like visual cues, like Harold and Kumar, all that stuff. She saw that, she'd be like, "Oh, turn that off." So I would fast forward through stuff as a kid, so she doesn't see it. But cartoons she would let go, like The Simpsons. We had to fight. Me and my brother had to write arguments about why we should be allowed to watch The Simpsons, because she wouldn't catch some of the stuff, but then obviously Homer and Marge are in bed fucking, and she's like, "No, bad show, this is no good, good." And we'd have to argue, like, "No, Mom, they're just wrestling. No, you don't get it, they're like..."
I like that you're telling your mom that two adults in a bed are wrestling. That's something two parents tell their kid when they catch them.
I'd have to
We're
sell
just
it,
wrestling. That's all that's happening.
I will say, credit my mom. Anytime there was an argument, she would always hear us out before ignoring us.
Yeah.
She'd always listen.
Well, that's really cool that your mom would do that. And I would just basically get under my mom's skin until she snapped. And they never grounded me, really. I never got grounded. Were you ever grounded? Did they ever ground you?
She tried it, but she worked like 4 jobs, so I just wait till she left.
Really, yeah, she couldn't.
She couldn't monitor.
She couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, I mean, with my parents, just never did the grounding thing. Like, I think they would take things away from me, but at some point when they're like, "Go to your room," and your room is where all the things that you like to do is that a sentence? That's fine, but when everything you do is in your room, and then they tell you to go to your room, you're just like, "Okay, I'll go in my room, and I'm just gonna play guitar for 3 hours." Like, and that's fine. That's actually honestly what I would do a lot. I would go play guitar for hours on end in my room. It's just what I would do.
You know, my mom, like, obviously corporal punishment was a thing. I talk about it in my stand-up a lot, but it was like, she was never really like that bad about it. She was just really big about school, and like she used to just play a lot of games. It was really funny. Like I would be playing a video game, right, and I didn't have a memory card, so I got really good at games because I would just speed run to where I was in a game if I couldn't keep the thing on.
Yeah.
So if I couldn't keep the PS2 on,
I think that's why they had codes a lot of time.
There weren't some codes in some of the games. There were no codes in Kingdom Hearts or any of those games. Or Sly Cooper. So I would replay vast parts of games all the time because something happened, someone unplugged something.
Yeah.
So my mom, what she would do, whenever she was mad at me, she would just chill. And like I'd be in the middle of the game, and she knows like I'd keep the PS2 on for like 3-4 days in a row, and I'm like, "Mom, whatever you do, please don't. When you vacuum, please don't pull it out. Mom, please don't do this to me." And I'd beg her, and she'd be like, "Yeah, cool." And she'd be like just chilling in the side, and I had done something stupid, like awful, like in the house, I'd broken something or whatever. She'd just wait, and she'd be like, "Oh, you having fun? Oh, good, my good boy, just having fun." Then she would slyly sneak over.
Classic mom.
And she's like, "Fuck you."
That's what moms would do.
She needed to have fun, man.
You know, my mom would do when like I would quote Wayne's World. And there's a famous line where he'd say, "And monkeys might fly out of my butt." And I used to quote that line a lot. And then I did it so much. I was saying it so much, and my parents kept telling me not to do it. My mom lost it, and she just took the Wayne's World tape because it was a tape, you know. This was like 1993 or 94 or whatever, and she just like ripped the tape out of, like, she took the string of tape out of the tape itself, out of the VHS, and then she threw it away, and it was done. And that was the end. And she smashed my Nirvana Nevermind album. She broke it and threw it away because I pissed her off so much.
My mom never broke any of my stuff.
They never hit me, but they would break my shit.
That would piss me off, dude. I always thought being grounded was immoral. Like, I thought it was wrong because I was like, your childhood, there's so much of your childhood Like, you get so much of it to, like, be grounded for, like, a week or a month is so wrong. Like, especially during a summer.
Yeah.
Because you only have so much of your childhood. Like, my mom, I was always very thankful. My mom never really grounded me. Like, corporal punishment, maybe just, like, a little bit of you can't go outside for a couple of days. But, like, she never, like, grounded me for a month or a week or took, like, vast amounts of time away from me.
Yeah.
But one thing that we did was my mom, and what I got to thank her for it, is she was really big on, like, teaching us about our culture. And one thing she would do is every once in a while she did meet up with a bunch of other women and they would sing like Somali songs and stuff and like music and like they would have like drums and stuff and like
Nice.
play around, and we got to hang out with them while they did that. I met a Somali band that lived with us. They were like our roommates for a little while, and they were playing music, getting ready for like weddings and stuff. And me and my mom would watch a bunch of old. You can't even find the stuff on YouTube anymore.
Oh, it's that.
These are
it's that
really
rare.
old, like DVDs and VHSs of like Somali plays that were recorded on like dinky home.
Yeah,
home
it was like
videos.
some guy's home videos, basically.
But these were like famous for like, they were disseminated, really famous comics from Somalia or famous actresses, and they would. There's this one. The plot was stupid, and I'm probably not remembering it correctly, but the plot was.
Well, it doesn't matter because no one can find it, apparently.
Nobody can find this.
So go ahead.
But
Do your best.
There are people who know about it though. But there was a man who owed somebody some money.
Classic guy.
And he was freaking out about it. And he's like, "Man, I owe somebody some money. I don't know what to do." And his friend looks at him.
Does he
and
know
says,
who he owes?
He
He owes somebody
He
some
owes
money.
a lot of people some money, some bad folks. And
Oh, shit.
the guy's like talking to a friend. He's like, "I don't know what to do." And the friend's like, "You know what you should do, man? Anytime someone reaches out to you and says, hey, you owe me money, just say to them, 'You're right.'" And in Somali, that means warunta. So he's like, anytime someone says, you know, "You owe me money," just say warunta.
Warunta.
Just say it.
Say
And-
warunta.
Warunta. And he's like, "Why would I say this?" He's like, "Because people will think you're crazy if you keep saying it.
Nice.
Just commit to the bit.
Commit to the bit, sir.
Commit to the bit." And so they would have a series of people come to him screaming at him saying, "Oh, you bastard, you owe me this money. You have to give me this money. I need this money. My kids are dying. I don't know what to do. Give me this money." He'd be like, "You owe me this money." He'll be like, "Warunta." They'd be like, "Okay, you owe me this money. Now give me this money. I need this." Warunta. And he would keep doing this and doing this, and the show
my
keeps
guy.
going on until he gets beat up or something.
That's my
So
guy.
ever since my mom, anytime she would lecture me, my mom goes on these huge rants and lectures. Even now, she'll just call me and go on and on about like, you know, you could have been a lawyer if you paid attention to this. I need you to do it. And at the end, I'd just be like, "Warunta." And she starts laughing her ass off. 'cause
Wow,
for
that's
years,
all you have to say.
We've been saying "warunta" to each other, and she'll say it to me sometimes. Like, I'll go off on my shit, be like, "Mom, I don't really appreciate how you're doing this." And she'll be like, "Warunta," just to like the whole idea of like you're listening to someone, but you're not really listening to them. You're really kind of saying "fuck you." Was our
That's
kind
pretty
of
good.
thing.
Yeah, I don't have that with my mom. I don't say warunta.
Warunta.
I should. I'm gonna start saying it. Actually, they're gonna be like. Then they're gonna really think I'm crazy. I'm like, it's a Somali word. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it means cunt.
And we're
Scene.
canceled.
But no, that was something I would. You should bleep that out.
No, I will.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I
But
hope
yeah,
your kid
so
never hears half the shit I say.
no, she won't care. What kid? If your mom had a podcast with her friend, do you think you'd tune in every week?
I would. 100% I would. Because
Really?
I know half the podcast would be about me and her
And
my
you're a
siblings.
narcissist, and you just want to hear about you.
I don't want to hear about me. I want to hear what she's releasing to the public.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did she listen to this?
No. She has never listened to any of my stand-up, and she has never gone to any shows, and she never will.
Is that because she doesn't want to?
She knows about it. She thinks it's stupid. Yeah, she thinks I should focus on my career.
Yeah, my mom has been one of the people in my life who's constantly telling me I should give up on my hobbies.
Shit.
It's basically what it is.
Dude, you're successful. You're a homeowner. You're successful.
That's what I say, man. I got a house, I got a kid, I got a lady, I got a job. I'm doing all right.
Doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing. I kind of like. I got my bases covered.
Yeah, dude.
I'm doing fine. Like,
You got a cute kid too. You know, one day she could do commercials.
yeah. Hopefully,
Little
I
Gerber
can
baby.
get her into the commercials, and I can start
Making money.
making that money. You know.
Would you ever have another kid?
No, I don't think so. I think that's a little. It's already hard for me having one, so I think having another one might make it possibly twice as hard. So that seems like it might be really
Is there
rough.
a point of diminishing hardness when it comes to having kids?
Well,
Like,
I think it.
when
So
you get to 5, can they just take care of each other?
well, once they're 5, you start to kind of get your life back a little bit. That's what people say.
When they're 5 years old?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's kind of when you start to get, because like, I don't know, it's a common experience with the kid thing. Like you always think it's really hard, and then you look back 6 months ago and you're like, oh, that wasn't actually that bad, and it just continually gets tougher, and that's at least what I've been experiencing so far. But it's it's rewarding, and you feel good, and you love your kid, so it's all good stuff.
Dude, I feel like there's never a right time for stuff. Like, I assume, like, maybe one day I'll end up with your scenario. Like, you're just in a relationship and suddenly you, like, have a kid. But, like I think I need some therapy before I have a kid. Because, like, I'm so worried about being like my dad or something, like being
I don't
just
think
like
you're
a
going to be like
miserable
your dad
person.
because you're
Like,
already well aware of what you don't want to be like. So I think you're a smart enough guy and a nice enough guy to not be that person.
but that's the thing. Like, I'm nice when I have my coffee and
Sure,
I'm
You'll learn.
trying. You know what I mean?
If you
Like,
have kids, you learn.
there's an exhaustion piece of it, because the puppy's already testing my patience half
Puppies
the time.
are
I'm just
different,
like,
man. Puppies are insane, dude. A baby little puppy is like out of control insanity. It's really hard taking care of a puppy.
I've been working on a joke about how I've been raising my puppy the way like I was raised, like I'm yelling at it in a language it doesn't understand and expecting it to just like listen to me. And like my girlfriend at the same time is trying like positive reinforcement and then giving up when it's inconvenient.
That's
like,
tough, man.
and it's like, I don't know. And that's just a dog. Like, you have a, freaking human being that will contribute to the society. You either have, well, you probably have a normal person, but you could have the next, Nobel Prize laureate or the person that destroys this world, like right upstairs.
Yeah, you don't really know.
You
I would
no
assume.
idea.
I think most kids end up kind of taking after their parents in a lot of ways. That's sort of how it mostly usually goes. Usually it's not like, usually two drug addicts that are, constantly fighting and whatever usually aren't raising a kid that does the, wins a Nobel Prize or, it's usually like, so yeah, I'm pretty sure my kid's not going to win the Nobel Prize because me and Amy are huge drug addicts.
Keith's
Kidding, I'm
unnamed
kidding.
child. You're watching this. You need to prove your daddy wrong.
No, she's
You prove your
good.
daddy
She's
wrong.
not going to do anything bad.
Get the Nobel Peace Prize.
She's a
I
little
was in the
she's a
positive
little
side.
bratty right now, but I think that's pretty common it too. So I'm not holding it against her.
Yeah.
She
They call
does.
them the terrible twos, right?
Yeah, she does some cute stuff, and then she does some crazy stuff, and that's like little kids. That's just what it is, man. Like I'll think about the things that I remember doing as a kid, and it was insane.
Oh, yeah.
So it's gonna be okay. My kid's gonna be fine.
We used to throw knives at the fucking walls as like 8-year-olds all
In
the
your
time.
house?
Oh yeah, like they were dartboards. Yeah, we did it all
Okay,
the time.
that's
on the drywall.
Ludicrous, dude.
Yeah.
Your mom didn't flip out?
Oh, my mom beat our ass. Yeah.
Yeah,
we
I was
would
gonna say,
friggin'
like,
throw shit all the time.
oh my, dude, how?
We would get hyped up watching Naruto and throw fucking like
Oh my
knives at the wall. Me and my brother Fozy did this all the time. It was like our shit. It was crazy.
Do you think that white kids and black kids play equally hard?
Yeah, I do think so in most cases. I think it depends. I think poor kids and poor kids play equally hard. I think it's like a financial thing most of the time.
Yeah.
But I do think like it's difficult because like in Maine there's this weird idea that like I think in Maine it's hard because you have a bunch of not Somali, but like African children, right? Some of whom had a lot of time raised in African countries with bigger cities and more resources,
Sure.
and different types of resources. And there's this like bit of an edge where they might have had to grow up a little sooner. That's what happened when I came to this country.
Sure.
Like, I was a 3-year-old in Somalia, so it was different for me. But like I had cousins and family members who were like 14, 16 living in Mogadishu, and they had to grow up really early. So they weren't the same 16-year-olds that they met at like Deering High School, Portland High School.
Yeah.
They were different animals.
They're harder.
Some of those 8-year-olds aren't the same
No,
8-year-olds that
they're
you're
harder.
meeting.
Yeah,
so you
for
have
sure.
to have a degree of understanding that it's like not just a race thing, but it's like it's a different mentality. Like you take a kid from Palestine, put him in, you know, it's a 10-year-old kid from Palestine, put him in elementary school.
What
It's a
you
different
should
animal.
say, yeah, do kids who are, I guess kids who grow up in harder situations play harder?
I think so. Maybe it also always depends on that person too, and the empathy.
And
side,
if they're
but-
really into wrestling,
wrestling,
if they watch a lot of wrestling, those are the kids that played the hardest, I remember, in school.
man, yeah, I don't know.
Those
The kids,
wrestling kids.
I remember the kids who hit the hard. I fought a lot of kids growing up. The kids who hit the hardest were oftentimes
The wrestlers, the footballers.
black. And some Cambodians.
The Cambodians hit
some
hard.
Cambodians that hit
Yeah,
hard.
they'll do that to you.
But you know who? The one time I got the wind knocked out of me was a white dude who like tackled me in football. That dude went through me. It was crazy.
You know what?
Middle school, he went through me.
This is really cool. When I've had the wind knocked out of me twice, it was by a shovel both times.
Wow.
Self-induced. Okay.
Like you stepped on it like a cartoon.
No, that would be in the face, especially for me. But no, what would happen is I'd be pushing
Short joke.
shovel. Exactly. I'd be pushing the shovel through the snow, and then it would get like this happened like twice. It would get like caught on something, and I'd be like running with the shovel, and it would just go, and then I'd be like,
How does that happen twice where you're like, I want to prevent
well,
this?
it's not like it was in a row, dude. It's not like I was like, oh, let me do this again. Oh, why would I do that again? This is so stupid. No, it happened, twice, 2 separate years. And then I was like, you know what, Keith? This has happened twice. It's not happening again, okay? No more running around with the shovel. Take your time. You idiot. You know, so...
That's one thing I'm not looking forward to. Moving to a house now. I have to shovel. I have to.
I
Did not have to do that. when I,
Snowblowing's fine.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a snowblower. I think there's a way for us to get a snowblower, but never had to do that when I rented.
Do you have a snowblower?
So
Or
I
a
don't own the
driveway?
house.
You have a driveway that you have to take care of?
Yeah, her brother has a friend who has a snowblower apparently close by, but
Yeah, I think the one I have was like $300 or $400.
maybe it's worth the investment.
It's not too bad if you think about it. Like, and I mean, I use it 4 or 5 times a year, maybe a little more,
I
maybe
think
a
it's
little
worth
less.
it than shoveling.
It is. You don't have to pay someone to plow, and shoveling will break your back. You know.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to
highly
shovel.
recommend a snowblower.
What's nice is I can work from home if it's like ever really bad,
Yeah, me too.
which is a good deal. Working from home's so fucking sweet, but we could talk about that another
Yeah,
date.
I would say that one day when we live together
Mm,
and we do Mo Keith time every single day,
holy shit. Dude, maybe we'll have spin-offs, like just Mo Time.
Mo time. Dude, a
Keith
special
time.
episode is just Mo time.
Amy time. Just Amy gets a little spot.
She just gets on both mics at the same time, and she's like, there's these two idiots that talk in my house once a week.
You know what's crazy? I never see her. I come here at least once or twice a week. I've only seen her like once or twice.
Yeah, because now, because you come
you
right.
sneak me in like your mistress in the garage.
You are. I have to sneak you in because if I don't, then the dumb dog pees on the floor. Because my dog just cannot help but pee when she
he
sees
black people
or white people or Asian people for that matter.
You have Asian friends?
Sometimes.
Wow.
I don't know. There's Asian people kicking around.
Yeah.
I've had an Asian guy over here. It's fine. Yeah, all kinds of folks, and my dog will just pee, and so I have to get people in through the garage, and then just keep the dog out. It just makes it so much simpler.
Pee. You do have a cute little dog.
Always will do a little piddle. I have to It's a war, man. It's a battle.
It's really excited.
So that's why I sneak you in
out of spite. I think my dog's been doing it when she's mad at us.
Yeah. Well, that'll hopefully go away.
We'll see.
It takes, I would say, I think it takes a few months before dogs start to kind of get rid of that habit.
We're down to 1 accident a day now.
Oh,
it used to be
pretty
like
good.
4.
Yeah.
It used to be an insane amount. And she's never shit in the house.
Oh, really?
Never.
That you know of?
No, have never.
Have you ever? Because this would happen with me. Is like I'd be like, I smell shit, and then I wouldn't see any shit anywhere.
The house is like pretty clear, and we kind of have to inhabit every single corner of it, especially the corner she's allowed in.
Yeah.
So she has shit in a house before at my girlfriend's parents' house that she did it once, but she's never done it in the place that we live. She always will wait by the door. Usually when she does
they don't
pee,
like
it's
doing
by
it,
the door.
Especially they don't like doing it. I think at a certain point they realize like, oh yeah, this isn't good. I've been a bad doggy. If I do this, they don't love this part of my existence in this house.
Our problem is that she's getting taller, so she's putting her paws up on the counter because she can really. And then now that's like
next thing you know, she's gonna be getting in the cookie jar.
That's what we're worried about.
Can I do this for you? But yeah, this has been Mo Keith time.
My palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy.